Alright guys, welcome to this video. It's amazing to have you once again, and today we will be looking at basic Git navigation. Alright, you just downloaded Git Bash and you don't know how to even go about navigating around movie files, creating directories, renaming files. This video is dedicated to that, right? That is what we are going to be doing today. Kindly help support us, like, subscribe to the channel, and keep us going. Let's dive right in. So we'll have what we have here. This is Git Bash, right? I think I have a video on how to download and install Git Bash. I'll leave it in the description. Okay, so here I have, these are repository. This is more like the root directory, sorry. Then you have another directory. They are more like stacked. This is multi-page. Then you have test project, and these are just directories that are in these folders. So if I list and you see some files, first maybe you get it started, you want to even know the version of Git you are working with or working on, you could just do git dash dash version. So if you see version 2.9.1 Windows, so that is the version. You can check out yours to know the version you are the Git version you are working with. All right, so first I have some files like I showed earlier. So I will show you how you can create a file in Git terminal. So first we'll be creating a file. So to create a file, you can use you can either create an empty file or you create a file with content. So to create an empty file, you just use the, if I list now, you see the files I have here. Look at them. These are the files I have here already in this particular directory. So if I want to create an empty file, I'll use the command touch, right, to create an empty file. Touch, and what do you want that file to be? Tab.html. Alright, so that file have been created, and if I list files and directories, my friend, you see that that file is here, though it has been created, but it is an empty file. So if I try to do vi tab.html, you see that it's an empty file until I have to write content into that file. This is the vi. I'm using vi now, right? So let me exit column wq to quit, to save and quit. So that's touch to create an empty file. So let me clear here. So how do I create a file with content? You can use Emma, but I'm using vi, so I could just do vi make dot whatever dot c. Let's create a c file, make dot c. Okay, so this is it. Include, let me just write a bunch of stuff. I'm not coding really, I just want to put something there. Main, sorry, it's main. All right, and I'm not coding. So that is it, just a file with some content, can be anything. All right, so you could just write hello world, right? Printf. Printf. Hello world, and I want that to be in a new line. close that off, and then I'll have to return return 0. Alright, just something to hold on to. Escape column WQ. So I've showed you how you can create a file. I just created a file. So if I list now, you see I have these files. This is the empty file we created. Then this is the make.c file that has content that we created. Okay, so what about directory? What if I want to create a directory? To create a directory, you use the mkdir arrow command, mkdir arrow, to make directory, and our directory, I'm going to call it process directory. So mkdir arrow process. So if I hit enter and if I list, you see that directory just staring at you right here. So it has been created, and again I can navigate into that directory, cd process to change directory, and right now I'm in the process directory. If I try to list the files, you see there's an empty directory, nothing to list because it is empty, and you can go ahead to put your content in that directory. Say I want to add a content, I could just add an empty file, touch C, touch D, touch E. I just created three empty files. So if I list process again, now you see I have 3 files here. Alright, I have 3 files there. So let's do something else. What if I want to rename my file? I have this 3 file right here. What if I want to rename? I just changed my mind. I want to change C to font. I want to change it to something. I want to rename it. So to rename, you use the mv command. Mv, by the way, is used for both moving and renaming files. So if I do mv C, that's the old name, then I do font, the new name I want it to take, and I hit enter. If I list again, now you see that C is nowhere to be found here. I have just renamed C to font. Let's change the others. MVE to bead. I just changed E to bead. So let me clear here. So if I list now, you see E is no longer there. We just renamed it. So we can do the same thing to the MV to rename a file. D to, we are renaming it to tab. So you see all of these 3 files have been successfully renamed. Okay, they have been renamed, and you can as well copy files, right, using the cp command. So if I say cp, if I do cp, then file name, let's say bead, I'm copying it where? Let's say I'm copying it to the previous directory, that dot dot slash. So I've just copied that. So if I go back cd dot dot and I list here, you see that bead has been successfully copied here. You can see, right? It has been successfully copied. So that will move that file. Apart from doing that, we can more like remove a file, right? You can delete a file when you don't need it anymore. So to delete a file, you use the arrow M command. So let's say I don't need the tab.html file anymore, so I'll just use arrow M tab.html. So if I hit enter and I list again, you see that this tab is nowhere here again. It has been deleted. So then we could go ahead and let me navigate into the mini directory. Okay, I could just do cd mini. Take note, I'm on test project directory, so I could just do cd change directory mini and come in. Let me clear here. So I'm on mini directory now. So I have a file which is file.html as well as a directory img slash. So what I want to do, I want to go ahead and create another directory inside the mini directory. So to create a directory, of course, where we use mkdir, and I'll just call this micro. So if I list, you see I have the micro directory here, which we just created. So then I have this file. I want to show you, we have been looking at how to create a file. Now we have started to look at how to create a directory. Then how do I copy a directory, right? How do I copy a directory? Take for instance, I want to copy this micro directory from, we are in mini here, from mini directory into the previous directory, which is test proj. So to copy the directory, I'm just going to use the command cp, right, which stands for copy. Since I'm copying a directory, not just a file, I'll do it recursively. Okay, arrow dash arrow. All right, so what am I copying? I'm copying micro. And where am I copying it to? I'm copying micro directory to the previous directory. To do that, I'll do dot dot slash. This dot dot slash means I'm copying into the previous directory. And where's the previous directory? Is right here, test proj. So if I go ahead and hit enter, that has been copied. So how do I ascertain that? I'll do cd dot dot to go back to the previous directory. And of course, we are now in the previous directory, which is test proj. And if I list now, you see that a micro file, folder or directory is now copied here. I believe you are following that. So I have that there. All right. So let's look at another command. How do we delete a directory? We have created a directory with the mkdir command. We have copied a directory using cp minus arrow command. How do we delete a directory? To delete a directory, you use the arrow m. There are two commands. One is arrow m minus arrow. You are removing it recursively, and the other one is arrow m di arrow. All right. So how do they work? This one, if you use this is more like specific to Git, right? Then this one is a general command. You use this to remove an empty directory, right? If you want to remove a directory with content, you use the arrow m minus arrow command. So I believe that that throws more light to that. So let me try do this. If I use arrow m minus arrow, the arrow, then I do micro. You see that micro is no longer here, and take note, I use arrow m di arrow command to remove this micro directory, right? Why was this able to do that, right? Arrow m di arrow was able to remove micro because micro was an empty directory without a content. I don't know if you are following. So just watch and see. Let's make another directory and we call it tip, right? Tip directory. So tip, I have tip here. Tip, as you can see, it's right here. So let me clear here. So I have tip right here, the tip directory. And if I do cd tip, and let me put some content into tip, touch the bag. I just want to put in this terrifies tank and tilt, right? I just created, oh sorry, touch, I spelled that correctly, bag, tank and tilt. So I just created these terrifies inside this tip directory, right? So it means that if I list, you see this terrifies in tip directory, it means that tip is not an empty directory, right? I believe you are following. And if I use arrow m, okay, I have to cd dot cd back. You see my tip directory which I created is here. So if I go ahead, zip. All right. So this is what exactly I have tried to illustrate. That tip is no longer an empty directory. So arrow mdir cannot remove tip. Look at what it said. Fail, because to remove tip directory, not empty. So what do we use? Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the arrow m minus arrow command. So arrow m minus arrow, then tip. Let's try removing it with this other command. So if I do that and hit enter, lo and behold, tip is gone, and gone for good. If I list now, you see that tip directory is no longer here, because what arrow mdir could not do, arrow m minus arrow did. So in general, arrow m dir removes empty directories. Sorry, arrow m minus arrow removes directories with content. Just that illustration, I believe you understand what I'm trying to say. That if you use arrow mdir, that means you want to remove an empty directory without content. If you want to remove a directory that has content, then you have to use another command, and that is arrow m minus arrow, right? So that is how it works. All right, so basically you can as well, if you want to list in a long format, list hid files rather, you can see that there are some hid files I listed with ls minus a. All right, ls minus a. So let me just stop this here. I will see you in the next video.